Hyun checked his cargo manifest for the third time that morning. Everything looked correct. Medical supplies, food rations, and water purification tablets. Simple stuff. Easy delivery. He guided his small ship toward the massive medical station floating in space above Tertius Prime. The station was huge, almost like a small city made of metal and glass. Lights blinked along its surface. Ships of all sizes moved around it like insects around a lamp. Hyun had been here before. It was always busy, but today something felt different. "Cargo ship Delta 7, you are cleared for docking Bay 12, a voice said through his radio. "Copy that. Delta 7 heading to Bay 12, Hyun replied. He landed his ship smoothly and opened the cargo doors. The bay was loud with activity. People ran in every direction. Aliens of different species shouted orders. Medical equipment rolled past on floating platforms. Something was very wrong. A tall Valoran doctor rushed past. Her skin glowed with a faint blue light, which meant she was stressed. Valorans always glowed when they felt strong emotions. Hyun had learned that during his training. "Excuse me," Hyun called out. "What's happening?" The doctor barely looked at him. "Emergency. Princess Nari has been poisoned. Please stay out of the way." Princess Nari. Hyun knew that name. Everyone in the galaxy knew that name. She was the heir to the Valoran Empire, one of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy. If she died here, there would be serious political problems. Hyun started unloading his cargo, but he couldn't help listening to the conversations around him. Medical staff talked in worried voices. Security guards stood at every corner. And through it all he heard one word repeated over and over. Dying. An older Valoran man stood near the medical bay entrance. His robes marked him as someone important. His face showed deep worry. He was speaking to the Valoran doctor from earlier. "Dr. Kiva, please tell me you have found something," the man said. "Ambassador Doyen, I am sorry. We have tried every antidote we know. The poison is too rare, too specific. It was designed to kill her royal bloodline. Her body rejects every treatment." Dr. Kiva's voice shook. "There must be something. There is one possibility. A complete blood transfusion. Replace all her blood with compatible blood. But no Valoran blood matches her unique royal genetics. We have tested every donor on this station." Hyun stopped moving. He stood behind a stack of supply crates listening. A blood transfusion. That was basic medical stuff. Even humans did that. What about other species? Doyen asked. Dr. Kiva shook her head. Most alien blood would kill her faster than the poison. We need something compatible but different enough to not trigger rejection. I have scanned our database. There is nothing. Hyun felt something strange in his chest. An urge, a need to help. He didn't know this princess. He had never even seen a member of the Valoran royal family. But she was dying, and maybe, just maybe, he could do something. He stepped forward before he could change his mind. "Excuse me," Hyun said. "I'm human. Would human blood work?" Both Dr. Kiva and Ambassador Doyen turned to look at him. They stared like he had grown a second head. "Human?" Dr. Kiva said slowly. "We have never tested human blood compatibility with Valorans. The risks are enormous." "But you said she's dying anyway," Hyun said. "What's the harm in trying?" Doyen stepped closer. His eyes studied Hyun carefully. "Why would you offer this?" "You do not know Princess Nari. This could kill you both," Hyun shrugged. He wasn't sure he understood it himself. "Because it's the right thing to do. Because someone needs help and I can give it. That's enough, isn't it?" Dr. Kiva pulled out a small device and scanned Hyun quickly. Her eyes went wide. "Ambassador, his blood is remarkable. Humans have iron-based hemoglobin, extremely high oxygen capacity, and an adaptable immune system. It might work. It might actually work." "Might?" Doyen said. "She has 5 minutes left, maybe less. This is her only chance." Doyen looked at Hyun for a long moment. Then he nodded. "Do it. And human, if you save her life, the Valoran Empire will owe you a debt that can never be repaid." Everything happened very fast after that. Medical staff rushed Hyun into a sterile room. They laid him on a table next to another table where Princess Nari lay. Hyun got his first look at her. She was beautiful, even dying. Her skin glowed with a soft golden light that was fading. Her hair was long and dark. She looked young, maybe his age. Her eyes were closed. Machines beeped around her, monitoring her failing body. "This will hurt," Dr. Kiva warned. "We are taking almost half your blood volume. You will lose consciousness, Will it save her?" Hyun asked. "I don't know. But it's her only chance. Then do it. They inserted needles into both his arms. He felt the pull immediately as blood left his body. The machine hummed, filtering his blood and pushing it into Nari's body. His vision started to blur. His head felt light. Through the growing darkness, he watched Nari's face. Her skin began to glow brighter. The machines around her changed their sounds. Was that good? Was it working? Dr. Kiva shouted something. Alarms blared. People rushed around. Hyun tried to ask what was happening, but his mouth wouldn't work. The room spun. The last thing he saw before darkness took him was a flash of golden light so bright it filled the entire room. Nari's body was glowing like a star. Her eyes snapped open, and for just a second she looked directly at him. Then nothing. Hyun dreamed of stars and golden light. He dreamed of a voice calling his name, but the voice wasn't speaking out loud. It was inside his head, gentle and warm. He dreamed of feeling something he had never felt before. A connection to someone he didn't know, like an invisible thread stretched between two souls. Somewhere in the darkness, he heard his own heartbeat. And beside it, he heard another heartbeat, beating in perfect rhythm with his own. Hyun woke up slowly. His body felt heavy, like someone had filled his arms and legs with sand. The ceiling above him was white and clean. Medical equipment beeped nearby. He was alive. He's waking up, a female voice said. A face appeared above him. A human woman with short black hair and kind eyes. She wore a white medical coat. Easy now, she said. Don't try to sit up yet. I'm Dr. Sora. I'm a xenobiologist with the Galactic Coalition. How do you feel? Tired, Hyun said. His voice sounded rough. Did it work? Is she alive? Dr. Sora smiled. Yes, Princess Nari is alive. You saved her life. But something unexpected happened. Hyun tried to sit up. His head spun, but he managed it with Dr. Sora's help. Unexpected? What do you mean? You've been unconscious for 3 days. In that time, we've been running tests. Hyun, your blood didn't just cure the poison. It changed her. Before Hyun could ask what that meant, the door opened. Ambassador Doyen entered, followed by Dr. Kiva, and behind them came Princess Nari. She looked completely different from the dying woman Hyun remembered. Her skin glowed with a bright golden light. Her eyes were clear and sharp. She wore simple white robes, but she carried herself like royalty. When she looked at Hyun, he felt something strange in his chest, like a warmth spreading through him. You're awake, Nari said. Her voice was soft but strong. I have wanted to thank you. I'm glad you're okay, Hyun said. He felt suddenly shy under her gaze. More than okay, Dr. Kiva said. She pulled up a holographic display. Princess Nari's abilities have increased dramatically. Valorants have natural telepathic abilities. We can sense emotions, project simple thoughts. But now the princess can do much more. I can hear thoughts from across the entire station, Nari said quietly. I can feel the emotions of everyone nearby. It's overwhelming. Human blood is extraordinary, Dr. Sora explained. Humans evolved on Earth, a planet with countless diseases and harsh environments. Your immune systems are incredibly adaptable. Your blood cells carry more oxygen than any other known species. When Hyun's blood mixed with Nari's Valoran biology, it amplified her natural abilities. Hyun stared at his hands. I didn't know human blood could do that. Neither did we, Dr. Sora said. This is a historic discovery. But there's more. She changed the holographic display. It showed 2 figures connected by a glowing line. During the transfusion, something formed between you and Princess Nari. A biological bond. Your cells recognized each other and created a connection. You can feel each other's emotions. You can sense each other's location. Distance doesn't matter. Hyun looked at Nari. She looked back at him. And yes, he could feel it, gratitude, curiosity, and something else. Confusion, maybe. Or worry. I can feel him, Nari said softly. Even now. It's like he's part of me. This is unprecedented, Ambassador Doyen said. He looked worried. In Valoran culture, blood bonds are sacred. They usually only form between mates. Silence filled the room. Hyun felt his face grow hot. Nari's glow brightened slightly, which Dr. Kiva had told him meant embarrassment. We don't fully understand it yet, Dr. Sora said quickly. But the Galactic Coalition Science Division wants to study this further. Hyun, would you be willing to? No, Doyen said firmly. Hyun saved the princess's life. He is now under the protection of the Valoran Empire. Any testing will only happen with his consent and under our supervision. I'm not a science experiment, Hyun said. He looked at Nari. But if it helps people understand humans better, I'll help. Nari stepped closer to his bed. May I? She asked, holding out her hand. Hyun nodded. Nari touched his hand gently. The moment their skin made contact, the feeling in his chest grew stronger. Warmth, connection, safety. He gasped. You feel it too, Nari said. It wasn't a question. Yes, Hyun whispered. The bond is strongest with physical contact, Dr. Kiva explained. But it exists even at a distance. This will take time to understand. Over the next hour, they explained everything. The poison had been rare and expensive. Someone wanted Nari dead. Someone who knew exactly how to target her unique royal biology. The station was investigating, but they had no leads yet. Why would anyone want to kill you? Hyun asked Nari. Politics, Nari said bitterly. The Valoran Empire is negotiating alliances with new species. Some don't want that. Some fear change. Some fear humans specifically, Doyen added. Your species is new to the galactic stage. Powerful, adaptable, and unpredictable. There are those who would prefer Earth remained isolated. That's stupid, Hyun said. We just want to learn and trade like everyone else. Dr. Sora nodded. I agree. But fear makes people do irrational things. A loud alarm suddenly blared through the room. Red lights flashed. Dr. Kiva grabbed a communication device. What is it? She demanded. Security breach in Sector 7, a voice replied. We have an intruder, armed and dangerous. They're heading toward the medical wing. Doyen moved immediately. Get the princess to a secure location now. I'm not leaving, Hyun, Nari said. Her voice was firm. Princess, you are still recovering, and he saved my life. I won't abandon him. Guards rushed into the room. They wore armor and carried energy weapons. A tall Valoran in a captain's uniform entered. Ambassador, we need to move the princess, the captain said. His name badge read Taejin. She refuses to leave without the human, Doyen said. Captain Taejin looked at Hyun. Can you walk? Hyun stood up. His legs shook, but he stayed upright. Yes, then come. Both of you. We have a safe room prepared. They moved quickly through the corridors. Guards surrounded Nari and Hyun. Dr. Sora stayed close to them. Through the bond, Hyun could feel Nari's fear. And beneath it, her determination. She was scared, but trying to be brave. Without thinking, Hyun reached out and took her hand. The fear lessened. Calm flowed through the bond. Thank you, Nari whispered. They turned a corner. Ahead, a figure stood in the shadows. Tall, wearing a dark suit that seemed to absorb light. The intruder! There, Captain Taejin shouted. The figure raised a weapon. A high-pitched sound filled the air. Energy bolts flashed. Guards returned fire. In the chaos, Hyun saw the weapon turn toward Nari. Time seemed to slow down. Hyun didn't think. He just moved. His body tackled Nari to the ground. The energy bolt passed through the space where she had been standing. It hit the wall behind them, leaving a scorched mark. They lay on the floor, Hyun covering Nari's body with his own. His heart pounded. Through the bond, he felt her shock and her gratitude. Got him, Captain Taejin shouted. Guards surrounded the intruder. They forced him to the ground and removed his weapon. Taejin pulled off the intruder's mask. The face underneath was human. The human assassin smiled even as guards held him down. His eyes were cold and empty. You can't stop what's coming, the assassin said. The contamination has already begun. Captain Taejin pressed a device to the man's neck. The assassin went limp, unconscious. Guards carried him away to a holding cell. Hyun helped Nari stand up. His hands were shaking. He had never been shot at before. Never been in a real fight. He was just a cargo pilot who flew medical supplies. Are you hurt? Nari asked. Her hands checked his arms, his face. Through the bond, he felt her worry for him. I'm fine, Hyun said. Are you okay? Yes, because of you, again. Ambassador Doyen approached them. His face was grave. This changes everything. A human trying to kill the princess. Some will say this proves humans can't be trusted. But Hyun saved her, Dr. Sora protested. Twice now. I know that. You know that. But politics doesn't care about truth. It cares about perception. Doyen looked tired. We need to interrogate the prisoner. Find out who hired him. They moved to the secure interrogation room. Through a one-way window, Hyun watched as Captain Taejin questioned the assassin. The man was awake again, strapped to a chair. Who hired you? Taejin demanded. The assassin laughed. Does it matter? I'm just the weapon. The hand that guides the weapon is what you should fear. Why target Princess Nari? Because she represents the future. A future where humans and Valorans work together, where human blood flows through Valoran veins. The assassin looked directly at the window as if he could see Hyun standing there. The contamination must be stopped before it spreads. Contamination, Nari said quietly beside Hyun. He speaks of you like you're a disease. Some people fear what they don't understand, Dr. Sora said. Human biology is different. Our adaptability, our immune systems, our capacity for survival. To some species, we look like a threat. The interrogation continued. Under pressure and truth serum, the assassin finally talked. He worked for something called the Shadow Broker. Not a person, but an organization. A group of different alien species who believed humanity should be kept isolated from the rest of the galaxy. They paid me to poison the princess with a toxin designed to look like human negligence, the assassin said, his words slurred from the drugs. When she died, the Valoran Empire would blame Earth. War would follow. Humans would be pushed back to their home system. But she didn't die, Taejin said. No, the human saved her. Stupid noble fool. Now the contamination is worse. Human blood making a Valoran stronger. This will terrify them even more. Taejin ended the interrogation. He joined them outside the room. We have a serious problem, Taejin said. This Shadow Broker organization operates across multiple systems. They have resources and connections, and they're not done. What do we do? Hyun asked. Emperor Sunwoo has summoned Princess Nari home to Valora Prime, Doyen said. He wants to see his daughter, and he wants to meet the human who saved her. Fear shot through Hyun. Meeting an alien emperor sounded terrifying. Through the bond, Nari felt his fear. She took his hand. My father is stern but fair, Nari said. He will see what you did for me. Will he see me as a person or as contamination? Hyun asked quietly. Nari squeezed his hand. I will make him understand. They prepared to leave the medical station. Dr. Sora packed equipment to continue studying the bond between Hyun and Nari. Guards doubled around them. Captain Taejin personally led the security detail. As they walked to the docking bay, Hyun noticed something. People stared at him. Aliens of different species whispered to each other. Some looked curious. Others looked afraid. A few looked angry. They know what happened, Dr. Sora said quietly. News travels fast in the galaxy. A human giving blood to a Valoran princess. It's unprecedented. At the docking bay, a beautiful ship waited. It was Valoran design, all flowing curves and glowing panels. Much nicer than Hyun's small cargo ship. What about my ship? Hyun asked. We'll have it brought to Valora Prime, Doyen said. You're under our protection now. That includes your property. The journey to Valora Prime took 2 days. Hyun had his own quarters on the ship, but he spent most of his time with Nari. They talked about everything. She told him about growing up as a princess. The duties, the expectations, the loneliness of always being watched and judged. Hyun told her about Earth, about cities and oceans, about flying cargo between stations and seeing the stars. Simple things, but Nari listened like each word was precious. You're so free, Nari said wistfully. You chose your life. I never had that choice. You chose to defend me, Hyun said. When the ambassador wanted to send me away, you refused. That was your choice, Nari smiled. Yes, it was. Through the bond, feelings passed between them. Friendship growing into something deeper. Neither spoke of it, but both felt it. On the second day, the ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Through the window, Hyun saw Valora Prime for the first time. It was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. The planet glowed. Not from pollution or city lights, but from natural bioluminescence. Forests glowed green and blue. Crystal mountains reflected light in rainbow colors. 3 moons hung in the sky, each a different size and color. Cities dotted the surface, built in harmony with nature. Towers of living crystal grew beside natural trees. Rivers flowed with water that sparkled like liquid diamonds. Welcome to my home, Nari said softly. They landed at the Imperial Palace. It sat on a mountain overlooking a vast, glowing forest. The palace itself seemed to be made from one giant crystal, shaped by Valoran technology over thousands of years. Guards in ceremonial armor waited for them. They wore white and gold with energy weapons at their sides. As Nari descended the ship's ramp, they all bowed. Princess Nari, welcome home, the captain of the palace guard said. Hyun followed nervously. The guards stared at him. He was probably the first human to ever stand in this palace. They walked through corridors of crystal and light. Servants in elegant robes bowed to Nari as she passed. Finally, they reached a massive set of doors. The throne room. Doyun whispered to Hyun. Remember to bow. Don't speak unless the Emperor asks you a direct question. The doors opened. The throne room was enormous. The ceiling disappeared into distant light. The floor was polished crystal that reflected everything like a mirror. And at the far end, on a throne of pure white stone, sat Emperor Sunwoo. He looked old and powerful. His skin glowed with a bright gold light that never flickered. His eyes were sharp and wise. He wore simple robes of white and silver, but power radiated from him like heat from a fire. Beside him stood a younger Velaran man. Similar features to Nari but male. Her brother, Hyun, guessed. Nari walked forward and bowed deeply. Father, I have returned. My daughter. Emperor Sunwoo's voice was deep and warm. I am glad to see you alive. His eyes moved to Hyun. And this is the human. Hyun bowed as low as he could. His heart pounded. This is Hyun, Nari said. He saved my life with his own blood. So I have heard. Approach, human. Hyun walked forward on shaking legs. He stopped a respectful distance from the throne and bowed again. Emperor Sunwoo studied him in silence. Those ancient eyes seemed to see everything. Finally, the Emperor spoke. You are brave or foolish to give your blood to a stranger. I just wanted to help, Hyun said quietly. Just wanted to help, the Emperor repeated. Simple words. But actions built on simple words can change the galaxy. He leaned forward. Do you understand what you have done? You have created a bond with my daughter. In our culture, blood bonds are sacred. They cannot be broken. I didn't know that would happen, Hyun said. Yet it did. Now you are connected to the heir of the Velaran Empire. Some will see this as opportunity, others as threat. The Emperor's voice grew harder. What do you want from this bond, human? Hyun met the Emperor's eyes. I want nothing except for Nari to be safe and happy. Silence filled the throne room. Then Emperor Sunwoo smiled slightly. A good answer. We shall see if it is truthful. He gestured to guards. Take him to the guest quarters. Tomorrow he will face the trial of worth. Hyun barely slept that night. The guest quarters were beautiful, more luxury than he had ever experienced. But his mind wouldn't rest. The trial of worth, what did that mean? What would they make him do? Through the bond, he felt Nari's worry too. She was somewhere else in the palace, probably in her own rooms. But the distance didn't matter. He could feel her thinking about him. A servant brought him breakfast. Food from Valora Prime, strange fruits that tasted sweet and spicy at the same time, bread that glowed faintly. He ate carefully, not sure what his human stomach could handle. Ambassador Doyun arrived as Hyun finished eating. The trial begins in 1 hour. Doyun said, I came to explain what you face. Thank you, Hyun said. I'm completely lost here. Doyun sat down. The trial of worth is an old tradition. When an outsider wishes to join a Valoran family or clan, they must prove their value. Usually it involves tests of mental and physical ability. Tests designed for Valorans? Yes, you will be at a disadvantage. Doyun's expression was serious. But Emperor Sunwoo is fair. He will account for your different biology. What happens if I fail? You won't be harmed. But you will be sent back to Earth. The bond with Nari will remain, but you will be separated. The Emperor wants to know if you're worthy of staying near his daughter. Hyun felt determination rise in his chest. He wouldn't fail. He couldn't. Guards arrived to escort him to the trial grounds. They led him through the palace and outside to a large courtyard. Hundreds of Valorans gathered to watch. Hyun saw courtiers in fine robes, soldiers in armor, and common citizens who had come to see the human. Nari stood near her father's viewing platform. She caught Hyun's eye and gave him a small encouraging smile. Through the bond, strength flowed from her to him. Emperor Sunwoo raised his hand. The crowd went silent. Hyun of Earth, the Emperor said, his voice carrying across the courtyard. You have bonded with my daughter through blood. This is sacred and cannot be undone. But I must know if you are worthy of this bond. You will face 3 trials. Succeed and you may remain at Nari's side. Fail and you return to your homeworld. Do you accept? I accept, Hyun said louder than he felt. Then let the trials begin. The first trial was a maze. Guards led Hyun to an entrance in the palace wall. Inside, he could see corridors stretching in all directions. The walls glowed with soft light. This maze tests intelligence and memory, a guard explained. Find the center chamber. Most Valorants complete it in 4 hours. You have until sunset. Hyun stepped into the maze. The entrance sealed behind him. He was alone. The corridors all looked the same. Glowing walls, smooth floors, no landmarks to remember. Hyun walked slowly, trying to memorize each turn. Left, right, straight, left again. He marked his path by touching the walls, leaving small smudges from his hands. But then the walls began to change. The glow shifted colors. His marks disappeared. The maze was alive, rearranging itself. Hyun sat down and thought, Valorants had better memory than humans. They could probably memorize the entire maze even as it changed. But humans had something else. Creativity. The ability to think differently. He closed his eyes and felt through the bond. Nari was watching from outside the maze. He could sense her direction. The center of the maze would be the furthest point from any entrance. If he walked away from where he felt Nari, he would reach the center. Yoon stood and started walking. He ignored the paths that seemed logical. Instead, he followed his sense of the bond, using it like a compass. When he felt Nari getting closer, he turned around. When she felt more distant, he continued forward. 2 hours later, he emerged into a circular chamber at the maze's heart. A crystal pedestal stood in the center, glowing bright. Guards appeared and let him out. The crowd murmured in surprise. He had completed the maze in half the expected time. Impressive, Emperor Sunwoo said. You used the bond as a tool. Clever. But the next trial will test your body, not your mind. The second trial was physical. A climbing tower that reached high into the sky. The walls were smooth crystal with small handholds that glowed and then disappeared. Valorants can see the handholds before they vanish, the guard explained. We have excellent vision and reflexes. Reach the top before you fall. Hyun looked up. The tower seemed impossible. But he started climbing. His human hands were smaller than Valorant hands. Some holds were too big. His reflexes were different too. Several times he grabbed for a hold that had already vanished. But humans had something Valorants didn't. Endurance. On Earth, humans evolved to run long distances, to outlast prey, to never give up. Valorants were stronger and faster, but they tired quickly. Hyun climbed slowly and steadily. When Valorants would rest, he kept moving. His muscles burned. His fingers bled from gripping the sharp crystal. But he didn't stop. The Valoran crowd grew quiet as they watched. This human wasn't fast or graceful, but he was relentless. 3 hours later, Hyun pulled himself onto the top platform. His whole body shook. Blood dripped from his hands. But he had made it. Medical staff treated his wounds. Nari rushed to him, ignoring protocol. You're hurt, she said, her hands glowing as she touched his injured fingers. I'm okay, Hyun said. How many trials left? One more. Emperor Sunwoo approached them. He studied Hyun with new respect. You are tougher than you look, human. But the final trial is the most important. It tests character. They led Hyun to a quiet garden inside the palace. Beautiful plants glowed softly in the afternoon light. Water flowed in a peaceful stream. Emperor Sunwoo sat on a bench and gestured for Hyun to sit across from him. No physical challenge this time, the emperor said. Just truth. I will ask you questions. You will answer honestly. My telepathic abilities will tell me if you lie. Hyun nodded. His heart pounded, but he met the emperor's eyes. Why did you save my daughter? Because she needed help and I could give it. You expected nothing in return? I didn't think about return. I just thought about saving a life. Emperor Sunwoo was quiet for a moment. What do you feel for Nari now? Hyun hesitated. This was the hard question. I care about her. The bond makes me feel connected to her. But it's more than just the bond. She's kind and brave. I want to protect her. I want to see her smile. Is it love? I don't know yet, Hyun said honestly. Maybe it could be. But I won't force it. If she wants me to leave, I'll leave. Even though the bond would cause you both pain, even then, her happiness matters more than my comfort. The emperor studied him for a long time. Finally, he nodded. Last question. There are those who see humans as a threat to the galactic order. Your blood made my daughter more powerful. What would you do if someone asked you to give blood to make an army? Hyun didn't hesitate. I would refuse. My blood is not a weapon. It's not a tool for power. If it can heal people, save lives, I'll help. But I won't help anyone create weapons. Emperor Sunwoo smiled. It was small but genuine. You have passed the trials, Hyun of Earth. You may stay at my daughter's side. He stood, but know this. The bond you share with Nari will attract attention. Some good, some very bad. Danger will follow you. I understand, Hyun said. I wonder if you truly do. The Emperor looked toward where Nari waited anxiously. But you have proven yourself worthy. Tonight we feast. Tomorrow we discuss the future. That night the palace held a grand celebration. Hyun wore formal clothes provided by the palace. They felt strange and stiff, but Nari told him he looked handsome. Valorants from across the empire attended. They wanted to see the human who had bonded with their princess. Hyun met nobles and warriors, scientists and artists. Most were polite. Some were clearly suspicious. Nari's brother, Prince Minho, approached Hyun during the feast. He was younger than Nari, with the same golden glow but sharper features. So you're the human everyone talks about, Minho said. His tone was neutral, unreadable. I guess I am, Hyun replied. My sister seems to trust you. I hope that trust is not misplaced. I would never hurt her. Not intentionally, perhaps. But you're human. Your people are unpredictable. Minho leaned closer. The galaxy fears what it doesn't understand. And nobody understands humans yet. Before Hyun could respond, Dr. Sora arrived with urgent news. She pulled Doyen and the Emperor aside. Through the bond, Hyun felt Nari's sudden anxiety. Something was wrong. Emperor Sunwoo stood and raised his hand. The celebration stopped. I have just received troubling news from the Galactic Coalition, the Emperor announced. There is evidence of a larger conspiracy against humanity. The attempt on my daughter's life was only the beginning. The celebration ended quickly. Emperor Sunwoo called an emergency council meeting. Hyun found himself sitting in a room with the most powerful Valorans in the Empire. He felt completely out of place. Dr. Sora stood at the front of the room displaying holographic images. These are communications we intercepted from the Shadow Broker organization. They've been planning this for years. The images showed meetings between different alien species. Hyun recognized a few. Tall insect-like beings called Kresh. The reptilian saurians. The cloud-like nebulons. All of them sitting together planning. Why would they work together? Ambassador Doyen asked. These species have never cooperated before. They have one common fear, Dr. Sora said. Humanity. She changed the display. It showed Earth, and then images of human biology. DNA strands, blood cells, immune responses. Humans are biologically unique, Dr. Sora explained. Earth was a harsh planet. Deadly diseases, predators, extreme environments. Humans survived everything. Our immune systems are incredibly advanced. Our blood can carry more oxygen than most species. We heal faster. We adapt better. And this frightens them? Prince Minho asked. Yes, because we're new to the galactic stage. Most species developed space travel gradually over thousands of years. Humans did it in less than 200 years. Our technology improves at an exponential rate. Our population grows fast. We're unpredictable and adaptable. Dr. Sora pulled up more documents. The Shadow Broker organization believes humanity will eventually dominate the galaxy, not through war, but through integration. Human blood can enhance other species, as we've seen with Princess Nari. If this becomes common, they fear humans will become essential to galactic civilization. Is that so bad? Nari asked. Medical advances help everyone. They see it as contamination, Dr. Sora said sadly. They fear losing their cultural identity. They fear becoming dependent on another species. Emperor Sunwoo spoke. What was their plan? Kill Princess Nari and make it look like human negligence. Start a war between the Valoran Empire and Earth. Use that war to justify quarantining humanity to their home system. But I saved her, Hyun said. Doesn't that ruin their plan? It made things worse for them, Dr. Sora said. Now there's proof that human blood can help other species. The bond between you and Nari proves humans can integrate peacefully with other civilizations. Their worst fear is coming true. So what will they do next? Doyen asked. Try harder to stop us, Dr. Sora said grimly. And we've learned they have support. Not just from criminal organizations, but from legitimate governments. The room erupted in angry voices. Aliens plotting against humanity was one thing, but governments involved made it political. Emperor Sunwoo raised his hand. Silence fell immediately. This must be brought before the Galactic Coalition Council, the Emperor said. Nari, you and Hyun will travel to the Coalition headquarters. You will present evidence and speak for humanity. Me? Hyun said, shocked. I'm not a diplomat. I'm just a cargo pilot. You are the first human to bond with another species, the Emperor said. You are the living proof that cooperation is possible. Your voice matters, Nari took Hyun's hand. Through the bond, he felt her support. We'll do it together, she said. 2 days later, they arrived at the Galactic Coalition headquarters. It was a massive space station, bigger than anything Hyun had seen. Ships from 100 different species docked here. The station served as neutral ground for the galaxy's many civilizations. Inside, they walked through corridors filled with aliens of every type. Some walked, some floated, some existed as energy patterns contained in special suits. The diversity was overwhelming. Admiral Jiwon met them at the entrance to the council chamber. She was a human military commander, one of Earth's representatives to the coalition. She looked at Hyun with a mix of curiosity and concern. So you're the one who started all this, Jiwon said. I just gave blood to someone who needed it, Hyun replied, and changed galactic politics forever. Jiwon's expression softened slightly. You'll be testifying before the full council. Some will support humanity. Others will oppose us. Be honest and be yourself. The council chamber was enormous. Representatives from dozens of species sat in a circular arrangement. At the center was a platform where speakers stood. Emperor Sunwoo entered with Nari and Hyun. The room fell silent. Everyone stared at them, especially at Hyun. The council leader, an ancient being called the Eldest, spoke in a voice like grinding stones. We are here to discuss the human question. Evidence suggests a conspiracy to prevent human integration into galactic society. We must decide humanity's future. Will they be granted full coalition membership, or will they be quarantined? A representative from the Kresh species stood. Their insect-like body clicked and buzzed. Humans are dangerous. Their biology is too adaptable. Already we see them changing other species. How long before they dominate us all? They saved Princess Nari's life, Emperor Sunwoo countered. Should we punish them for compassion? One act of kindness doesn't erase the threat, a Saurian representative hissed. Humans reproduce quickly. They consume resources. They spread across planets like a plague. Admiral Jiwon stood, her voice strong. We are survivors, yes, but we're not conquerors. We want cooperation, not domination. Then explain this. A holographic display appeared showing Nari. Her skin glowed brighter than any Valoran's. This princess is now more powerful than any of her kind. Human blood did this. What happens when this technology spreads? Dr. Sora stepped forward. It's not technology. It's biology. And yes, human blood can enhance certain species. It can also cure diseases we thought were incurable. Isn't that worth something? Worth losing our identity? The Kresh representative demanded. Worth becoming dependent on another species for our health? Arguments flew back and forth. Hyun listened, feeling smaller and smaller. These beings were discussing humanity's fate, and he could barely understand half the political nuances. Then the Eldest spoke again. Let us hear from the human and the Valoran princess. They share a bond. Let them speak their truth, Nari squeezed Hyun's hand. They walked to the center platform together. Nari spoke first. I was dying, poisoned by those who feared change. Hyun saved me knowing it might kill him. He asked for nothing, expected nothing. He did it because it was right. She looked at Hyun with clear affection. The bond we share has shown me human compassion, human determination, human kindness. These are not things to fear. Now it was Hyun's turn. His voice shook at first but grew stronger. I'm not a politician or a scientist. I'm just a regular person. But I know that fear leads to bad choices. You're afraid of humans because we're different, because we're new. But we're afraid too. Afraid of being rejected, of being isolated, of being destroyed for being different. He looked around the chamber. Every species here was new once. Every species had to prove themselves. Give us that chance. Judge us by our actions, not by your fears. Yes, I saved Princess Nari, but she also saved me. The bond works both ways. Cooperation works both ways. Silence filled the chamber. Then a new voice spoke, deep and ancient. Well said, young human. A section of the chamber opened. A being floated forward. It looked like living light, constantly shifting and changing. The Eldest Archivist, the keeper of galactic history. I am old, the archivist said. I have witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations for 10,000 years. I have seen species grow powerful and then stagnant. I have seen empires crumble from their own rigidity. The archivist moved closer to Hyun. Humans are different. They never stop changing, never stop adapting. This is not weakness.
It is strength.
And it is exactly what this galaxy needs. You support them? The Kresh representative asked, shocked. I support survival. I support growth. The galaxy is changing. New threats emerge. Old solutions no longer work. Humanity's adaptability may be what saves us all. The archivist projected images, ancient writings and prophecies. Long ago it was written, "The scattered children will unite the stars." Many thought this meant the first spacefaring species. But I believe it means humanity. Scattered across one harsh planet, they survived everything. Now they can help others survive too. This is just prophecy, the Saurian representative protested, not proof. Then vote based on evidence, the archivist said. The bond between this human and this Valoran has already produced benefits. The princess is stronger. The human has gained cultural understanding. Neither has been harmed. I cast my vote for humanity's full acceptance into the coalition. The eldest spoke. The archivist has never voted before in all of recorded history. This is significant. We will now vote. All in favor of granting humanity full coalition membership. Lights appeared around the chamber. Green for yes, red for no. Hyun held his breath. Green lights from the Valoran seats. From the Nebulans, from several smaller species. Red lights from the Kresh, the Saurians, and their allies. The count was close. Too close. Then a representative Hyun hadn't noticed before stood. A being made of crystalline structures representing a species called the Prism. We abstained from politics for centuries, the Prism representative said. But the archivist's vote compels us to choose. We vote yes. The green lights outnumbered the red. Hyun felt tears in his eyes. The vote is decided, the eldest announced. Humanity is granted full coalition membership. The chamber erupted. Some specie-red emergency lights flashed through the coalition headquarters. The alarm was deafening. Representatives rushed to exits. Guards appeared with weapons drawn. What's happening? Nari asked. A security officer ran past. Unknown ships approaching. Military formation. Weapons armed. Admiral Jiwon grabbed a communication device. How many ships? Dozens, maybe more. They just appeared from faster-than-light travel. The voice on the other end sounded panicked. Admiral, they're not responding to hails. And they're targeting Earth. Hyun's blood went cold. Earth, my home? Dr. Sora pulled up a holographic star map. Earth appeared as a blue dot, surrounded by red markers indicating hostile ships. The Shadow Broker's backup plan. If they couldn't stop humanity politically, they'll try force. Emperor Sunwoo's face was grim. This is an act of war. We need to get to Earth, Admiral G1 said. Now, if those ships attack, Earth's defenses won't hold for long. We're still a young spacefaring species. The Valoran fleet is 2 days away, Doyun said. Earth doesn't have 2 days, Jiwon replied. Through the bond, Hyun felt Nari's determination spike. She turned to her father. We have to help them. Hyun saved my life. Now we save his world. Emperor Sunwoo nodded. Agreed. But we can't move the main fleet fast enough. He looked at the council chamber. However, many coalition ships are already here. We could form a combined fleet. The eldest spoke. Any species willing to defend Earth, prepare your vessels. This attack violates coalition law. We will respond together. Not everyone agreed. The Kresh and Saurian representatives left quickly, making excuses. But others stayed. Nebulons, Prism, and a dozen smaller species committed their ships. Within an hour, a mixed fleet of alien vessels prepared to jump to Earth. Hyun stood in the command ship, a Valoran cruiser called the Dawn's Light. Nari stood beside him wearing combat armor. Captain Taejin commanded the security forces. You should stay here where it's safe, Hyun told Nari. We're bonded, Nari said simply. Where you go, I go. The fleet jumped to faster-than-light speed. The journey would take 6 hours. 6 hours while Earth faced an unknown enemy. Admiral Jiwon used the time to coordinate with Earth's defenses. Hyun listened to the communications, his stomach tight with worry. Home fleet is engaging the enemy, an Earth commander reported. They're using advanced weapons. Our shields are barely holding. Civilian evacuations? Jiwon asked. In progress, but there's not enough time. Millions of people can't escape if this becomes a full assault. Hyun clenched his fists. His family was down there. His friends. Everyone he'd ever known. Nari took his hand. We'll save them. Dr. Sora worked frantically at a science station. I'm analyzing the enemy ships. They're mercenaries hired from multiple species. Someone paid a fortune for this attack. The shadow broker, Doyen said. They couldn't win politically, so they're forcing the issue. If Earth falls, they can claim humanity is too weak to defend itself. Or they'll blame us for not protecting them, Emperor Sunwoo said. Either way, they create division. 5 hours into the journey, new reports came from Earth. The battle was getting worse. Earth's defenses were failing. 3 orbital stations had been destroyed. Debris rained on the planet below. We're not going to make it in time, Hyun said desperately. Yes, we will, Nari said. She closed her eyes. Her skin began to glow brighter and brighter. I have an idea, but I need your help. Through the bond, Hyun felt what she was planning. It was crazy, dangerous, but it might work. My enhanced abilities, Nari said. I can project thoughts across vast distances now, but I need to project to every ship in our fleet at once. Coordinate them perfectly. And I'm not strong enough alone. Use the bond, Hyun realized. Use my strength, Dr. Sora looked worried. That could hurt you both. The strain, we don't have a choice, Nari said. She sat down and pulled Hyun to sit across from her. They held hands. The bond between them opened fully, wider than it had ever been. Hyun felt Nari's mind touch his. It was beautiful and terrifying. Nari's telepathic abilities expanded using the bond as an amplifier. Suddenly, Hyun could feel every ship in their fleet, every captain, every crew member. Hundreds of minds connected through Nari, with Hyun as the anchor. Everyone. Nari's voice echoed in every mind. Listen, we can save Earth, but we must work as one. She showed them her plan. A coordinated attack pattern that would hit the enemy from all sides at once. It was complex, requiring perfect timing, normally impossible to coordinate across so many different species and ship types. But with Nari linking their minds, it became possible. I'll maintain the connection, Nari said. Follow the pattern. Trust each other. Move as one. The strain was incredible. Hyun felt it through the bond. Nari's mind was stretching, trying to hold hundreds of connections at once. His human endurance helped, giving her strength, but it hurt. They dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Earth. The battle was chaos. Earth ships fought desperately against superior numbers. The planet's shields flickered, nearly broken. Now, Nari commanded through the telepathic link. The coalition fleet moved as one organism. Ships that had never fought together before coordinated perfectly. Nebulons struck from above while prism ships flanked from the sides. Felleran vessels led the charge while smaller ships provided support. The mercenaries didn't expect such perfect coordination. Their formation broke under the assault. Hyun watched through the command ship's windows. Energy weapons lit up space. Missiles streaked between vessels. It was beautiful and terrible, but the telepathic link was killing Nari. Blood dripped from her nose. Her skin flickered, the glow unstable. Nari, stop, Hyun begged. You're hurting yourself. Not yet, she gasped. Almost done. The battle turned in their favor. The mercenary fleet began to retreat, but a group of enemy ships broke away from the main fight. They were heading directly toward Earth. Suicide run, Captain Taejin shouted. They're going to crash into the planet. Admiral Jiwon tried to intercept, but the Earth fleet was too damaged. They couldn't stop all the ships. Nari's eyes went wide. Through the bond, Hyun felt her make a decision. She pushed her abilities beyond their limit. Her mind reached out, not just to the coalition fleet, but to the enemy ships themselves. She projected overwhelming emotion. Peace, calm, compassion. Stop fighting. Her voice echoed in the minds of the mercenaries. This isn't your war. Don't die for someone else's hatred. Some mercenary ships slowed. Their pilots, touched by Nari's telepathy, questioned their orders. But others continued toward Earth. Nari screamed. The strain was too much. She collapsed. Hyun caught her. Through the bond, he felt her consciousness fading. She had pushed too hard, used too much power. Medical team, Doyen shouted, but Hyun knew they didn't have time. The remaining enemy ships were seconds from impact. If they hit Earth, millions would die. He looked at Nari's unconscious form, at the bond that connected them. She had given everything to save his world. Now it was his turn. Hyun didn't have telepathic abilities, but he had the bond. And through the bond, he could feel Nari's power, still active but uncontrolled. He didn't know what he was doing. He just acted on instinct. He grabbed the telepathic connection she'd established and pulled it into himself. The alien power flooded his human mind. It felt like his head would explode. Humans weren't meant to use telepathy. His brain wasn't designed for it. But his adaptable human biology did what it always did. It changed, adapted, survived. For just a few seconds, Hyun became a bridge between human and Valoran abilities. He felt the minds of the remaining enemy pilots. Please, Hyun projected. His thought wasn't elegant or controlled like Nari's. It was raw and desperate. Don't do this. We're all just people trying to survive. Don't let fear make you into killers. He showed them Earth. Not as a threat, but as a home. He showed them children playing. Families eating together. People laughing and crying and living. He showed them humanity. The enemy ship stopped. Dead in space just kilometers from Earth's atmosphere. Then Hyun's mind couldn't take anymore. The telepathic power shut off like a switch. He collapsed beside Nari. The last thing he heard was Captain Taijin's voice. The enemy fleet is retreating. Earth is safe. Hyun woke in a medical bay. His head pounded like someone had hit it with a hammer. Beside him in another bed, Nari slept. Her breathing was steady. Her glow gentle and healthy. You're both alive, a relieved voice said. Hyun turned to see Dr. Sora. She looked exhausted but happy. What happened? Hyun asked. You used Nari's telepathic abilities through the bond. You, a human using Valoran powers. It should have been impossible. Dr. Sora smiled. But humans have a habit of doing the impossible. Is Nari okay? She pushed her abilities too far, but she'll recover. You both will. Dr. Sora's expression grew serious. The mercenary fleet surrendered. They're being questioned now. And Earth is safe. You saved billions of lives. Hyun didn't feel like a hero. He felt tired and sore, but relief flooded through him. His world was safe. The people he loved were safe. Nari's eyes opened. She looked at Hyun and smiled weakly. We did it? You did most of it, Hyun said. No, we did it together. That's what the bond means. Over the next few days, the truth came out. The Shadow Broker was revealed to be a coalition of old, powerful species who feared change. 6 months had passed since the battle for Earth. The world had changed in ways Hyun never imagined possible. He stood on a balcony overlooking the new embassy, complex in soul. The building was a blend of human and Valoran architecture, glass and steel mixed with living crystal that glowed softly at night. It was beautiful, a symbol of two species working together. Nari joined him, wrapping her arms around him from behind. Her warmth felt perfect through the bond they shared. Thinking about everything that's happened? She asked. Yeah, Hyun said. Sometimes I still can't believe it. I was just a cargo pilot. Now I'm part of something bigger. You were always part of something bigger. You just didn't know it yet. Below them, the embassy grounds bustled with activity. Human and Valoran children played together in the gardens. Scientists from both species worked side by side in laboratories. Diplomats discussed trade agreements and cultural exchanges. This embassy was the first of many. Similar buildings were being constructed around the world. Earth was no longer isolated. They were part of the galactic community now. A voice called from inside. Hyun, Nari! They're ready for you. Dr. Sora waited in the main hall. She looked different these days. Happier. Her research on human-alien compatibility had become the most important work in the galaxy. The dedication ceremony is about to start, Sora said. Are you ready? As ready as we'll ever be, Hyun replied. They walked together to the ceremony hall. It was packed with people. Humans and aliens filled every seat. News crews from dozens of worlds pointed cameras at the stage. Emperor Sunwoo sat in the front row next to Admiral Jiwon. The old Valoran emperor and the human military commander had become unlikely friends. Beside them sat Ambassador Doyen, Captain Taijin, and Prince Minho. Minho had changed his views about humans. After seeing his sister nearly die and then watching humans and Valorans fight together, he'd become one of humanity's strongest supporters. The eldest archivist floated near the stage, its light form shifting peacefully. The ancient being had been right. Humanity was bringing change to the galaxy, but good change. Hyun and Nari took their places on stage. Dr. Sora stepped up to a microphone. Welcome, everyone, Sora began. We gather today to dedicate the Human Valoran Medical Research Center. This facility will study the biological compatibility between our species and others. The goal is simple. Use what we've learned to save lives. She gestured to a holographic display. 6 months ago, we learned that human blood can enhance Veloran abilities. Since then, we've discovered that human biology can help many species, not just Valorans, but Nebulons, Prism, and others. We've cured diseases that were thought incurable. We've saved thousands of lives already. Applause filled the hall. But this isn't about humans being superior, Sora continued. It's about cooperation. Each species has unique gifts. Valorans have telepathy and advanced technology. Nebulons can process information faster than any computer. Prism can store memories for millennia. When we share these gifts, everyone benefits. More applause. Hyun saw tears in some people's eyes. This medical center is named after the 2 people who started it all. 2 people who proved that love and compassion can bridge any gap, even between species. Sora turned to Hyun and Nari. Please come forward. They walked to the center of the stage. Sora unveiled a plaque. It read, the Hyun and Nari Medical Research Center, where different becomes together. Cameras flashed. People cheered. Through the bond, Hyun felt Nari's joy and pride. He felt it too. After the ceremony, they attended a reception. Hyun talked with so many people his head spun. Scientists wanted to thank him. Diplomats wanted advice. Children wanted to touch the human who had bonded with a princess. One young Veloran girl, maybe 7 years old, approached shyly. Her skin glowed with a soft pink light. Are you really bonded to the princess? She asked. I am, Hyun said, kneeling to her level. Does it hurt? No, it feels wonderful. Like always having your best friend close even when they're far away. The girl thought about this. My teacher says humans are heroes. That you saved Princess Nari and then saved Earth. Hyun shook his head gently. I'm not a hero. I just helped someone who needed it. That's what we all should do, help each other. The girl smiled and ran back to her parents. Hyun stood, feeling Nari's amusement through the bond. Good answer, she said, appearing beside him. It's the truth. I know. That's why I love you. They found a quiet corner away from the crowds. Emperor Sunwoo joined them, his ancient eyes warm with affection. You've both done well, the Emperor said. Better than I could have hoped. We had a lot of help, Nari said. Perhaps. But you were the catalysts. Your bond showed the galaxy that different species can unite. He looked at Hyun. I misjudged humans initially. I saw you as primitive and dangerous. I was wrong. Humans are survivors, yes, but you're also compassionate and brave. Exactly what this galaxy needs. Thank you, Your Majesty, Hyun said. Emperor Sunwoo placed a hand on each of their shoulders. I have an announcement to make. I've discussed this with the Galactic Coalition. We're creating a new program called the Unity Initiative. It will train ambassadors from different species to work together, to create bonds of friendship and understanding. Like what Hyun and I have? Nari asked. Exactly. Not everyone will develop a biological bond, of course, but the principle is the same. Learn about each other. Trust each other. Help each other. The Emperor smiled. And I want you both to lead this program. Hyun exchanged a look with Nari. Through the bond, they shared their thoughts silently. This was big, important, scary, but also right. We'll do it, they said together. The Emperor nodded approvingly and left them alone. Hyun and Nari stood in comfortable silence for a moment. Big responsibility, Hyun finally said. We've handled everything else, Nari replied. We'll handle this too. Together? Always together. They walked outside as the sun set. Earth's star painted the sky in oranges and purples. But now alien ships moved across that sky too. Not invaders, but friends and partners. Nari pointed upward. Do you remember what you said when we first met? When you were giving blood? I think I said do it, Hyun laughed. After that, before you passed out, you said, will it save her? Yeah, that's all that mattered to me. It saved more than just me, Nari said softly. It saved the relationship between our species. Maybe it saved the galaxy from tearing itself apart over fear. I was just trying to help one person. And that's what makes you special. You didn't think about politics or rewards. You just helped because someone needed it. Nari took his hands. That's the most human thing I've ever seen. And it's beautiful. A year later, the Unity Initiative graduated its first class. 20 teams of 2, each pair from different species. Humans paired with Valorans, Kresh with Nebulons, Saurians with Prism. Species that once feared each other now work together. Hyun and Nari watched the graduation ceremony with pride. These young ambassadors would spread across the galaxy, building bridges, solving problems, creating understanding. Do you ever miss your old life? Nari asked Hyun. Flying cargo ships, keeping to yourself? Hyun thought about it. Sometimes I miss the simplicity, but I wouldn't trade this for anything. I found purpose. I found you. I used to feel trapped by my royal duties, Nari said. Every day planned out, every word scripted. Now I feel free, because I'm doing something that matters. With someone I love. They watched the new ambassadors celebrate. Young people from across the galaxy ready to change the universe. Dr. Sora joined them. The Medical Research Center just published new findings. Human blood can help treat degenerative diseases in 6 different species. We're going to save millions more lives. That's amazing, Hyun said. And it's just the beginning. Other human volunteers are donating blood for research. We're learning so much. Sora looked thoughtful. You know, the Shadow Broker was right to fear humanity. But for the wrong reasons, what do you mean? Nari asked. They feared humans would dominate through biological superiority. But that's not happening. Instead, humans are changing the galaxy by being themselves. Compassionate, adaptable, helpful. You're not conquering anyone. You're befriending everyone, Hyun laughed. We're weaponizing friendship? In a way, yes. And it's far more powerful than any army. That night, Hyun and Nari sat on their balcony watching the stars. Ships moved between Earth and other worlds, carrying goods and people and ideas. The isolation was over. Humanity had found its place in the galaxy. What do you think happens next? Hyun asked. More work, Nari said. More challenges. There are still species who don't trust humans, still problems to solve. But we'll solve them. Yes, together. Through the bond, their emotions flowed freely. Love, hope, determination, and joy. They were more than just a human and a Velaran. They were proof that differences could become strengths, that fear could become friendship, that love could cross any boundary. Hyun thought back to that day in the medical station, when he'd offered his blood to a dying stranger. He'd had no idea what would happen, no idea how his simple act of kindness would ripple across the galaxy. But he'd do it again in a heartbeat, because that's what humans did. They helped. They adapted. They survived. They cared.